Hello and welcome to Mom's Bookshelf Nurturing Motherhood Through Literature. Here we speak about mom authors, motherhood, maternal mental health coaches, and a lot more related to moms and motherhood. So today we have with us an expressive writing coach who says that she is an introvert and she is a highly sensitive woman, and that is why that puts her in a best position to understand what highly sensitive women feel and what are their challenges. Uh, and I feel being introvert or being highly sensitive puts you in a place where you are self-aware, you're aware of your emotions, and that is why you are actually you can actually help people be aware of their emotions. So I think that is a positive trait. So let me welcome Miss Javeria Fatima Zaidi. So although we share same surnames, but we are not related. And
Mhm.
I'm so glad that you are over here with us discussing about expressive writing. I've been writing a lot, and I write about my emotions as well. But this term, I think I've never heard before, expressive writing. And when I took the session with you, I think I'm going to tell more about this session later in our video. So when I took this session with you, it was actually a life. I would say that yes, it was life changing for me. I've never had this kind of a session before. So, Ms. Javeria, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling very excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me onto your podcast, Shabina.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. So, Javeria, would you tell us what is actually an expressive writing?
Sure. So, as you've discovered, you intuitively began doing it anyway. Expressive writing is literally what it says on the tin. Express yourself. Very simply, you don't need to worry about your handwriting or your grammar or your spellings. You don't need to write well to benefit from this type of writing, right? Expressive writing is all about the feelings. You focus on how you are feeling at this moment, or when I'm working with a client and we are focusing on her goal, then you would write about how you might feel when you achieve that goal. Basically, expressive writing comes straight from the heart, right? And it's less about the skill of writing and more about giving yourself the permission to express everything that you need to.
Yes, I think this is so important because sometimes we don't write because we feel that somebody else is going to read our writing, and there are times there are so many thoughts which are just revolving in our minds. And as a mother, when we are working in the kitchen or we are tending to our kids, there are umpteen amount of thoughts that arise in our brain, and if we don't take an account of it, it's very difficult to reach where we want to reach as a mom, because we have so many goals, we have so many aspirations. So we want to go somewhere, but we are just revolving with our thoughts, and I think that leads to overthinking.
Yeah.
So how do you feel that, as a coach, as a trainer for moms, how is it going to help mothers, to when when they are in touch with an expressive writing coach?
So essentially, expressive writing has so many benefits, and I could go on, but I won't do that. I'll begin with, one very important benefit that expressive writing can give moms, especially new moms, which is catharsis. What does a mother want? She wants to be seen and she wants to be heard. Now, when a woman becomes a mother, then it's such a huge transition from her previous life that elicits a lot of extreme emotions and reactions in the mother. And the people around her, while they are extremely important as being part of our support system, even with the best of intentions, sometimes people don't really know what to say. They don't know how to listen. And so the mother ends up feeling even more frustrated as a result of sharing. Sometimes, if she's lucky, that won't happen. But that's not always the case. This is where expressive writing offers her an outlet. When she has unburdened herself from her hopes and her dreams and her worries and her fears, everything, all of it is transferred onto the paper, she feels that sense of relief. That makes it easier for her to do this very hard job that is now hers.
Yes, and Javeria, I have experienced this myself, because while taking care of the kids, two kids and taking care of the household. He has, I'm a writer, so I would say writing, but whatever, helping. And writing has actually, we live in a nuclear family, and I'm sure most millennial women, they're living away, geographically very away from their parents or
Yeah.
in-laws, and they have to take care of the households. So there, it really, there's a lot of burden on the heads.
Mm.
They have a lot of thoughts revolving around, and they have a lot more to do. So I think this writing technique, it becomes really handy. Although I had been writing since a long time, but then when I took a session with you, I felt so happy because you are writing in a, in under somebody's guidance. She is telling you what should you, how you can relate with your thoughts, with your feelings. And I felt so relaxed that time when I took a session with you. uh, so you must have taken sessions with other moms who have been struggling with their goal setting, or with their, emotions and thoughts and all that. So would you like to narrate some of your case study, or something like that, which has helped a mom?
I'd love to. Thank you. That's an amazing question, actually, because I've recently written a very detailed blog post about this. So I'll try to condense that story for this session. So I had a client. We'll call her Samantha. This isn't her real name, and her details have been changed to protect her privacy. But Samantha came to me at a time when her life was extremely bleak. She was facing some serious struggles in her marriage. She was personally under a lot of stress, and one of her children was self harming. Now, naturally, when Samantha found this out, she was even more worried. This worry, instead of softening her, it added to her stress. The more stressed she got, the worse her behavior became with her children, and the more she pushed away that child who was self harming and who she wanted to bring closer. So it was a very vicious cycle that she was stuck in. And so when we began working together, I took a multi pronged approach. First of all, our priority it became helping that child and ensuring the child's safety. So we had a family focused few sessions, right? And in that, I asked a lot of questions, right? I really began to understand the child, how the child's life was inside and outside. And I wrote a very detailed plan for Samantha, for the child. Now this plan, it's you can call it a mini book. That's how detailed it was. And we had to work together for a long time, and I had to ask a lot of questions about it. So that was one plan, and that included things from what the child eats to how the parents can support the child, how the teachers can support the child. So it was extremely detailed. But on the other hand, we also had to work on Samantha. How could she support her family without feeling burned out herself? So, because this was a very complex case, we worked together for a few months, and this was not an easy solution. This was not a quick fix, but we had to come up with solutions for Samantha, and these included writing. We worked on compassion focused therapy, mindfulness and meditation. And to her credit, Samantha worked extremely hard. There were tears along the way, there were frustrations along the way. There was someone very close to Samantha who died during the process, but she didn't give up, right? And we adjusted. It was a constant adjustment, right? Because we had to juggle a lot of things in the air. But to Samantha's credit, she took the writing and she ran with it. She worked so hard. And, by the time that we stopped working, even when I'm telling this, I have goosebumps. When she told me that my child is not self harming anymore, my child is happy at home, my child is connected to me, and I feel connected to my children. Samantha, through the power of expressive writing and utilizing that, properly utilizing it for herself, she began healing her relationship with her parents. She improved her relationship not only with the child who was so further away that that child was self harming, but also with her other children. And of course, the journey still goes on for her, but she is one of my biggest successes to date, and I'm so proud of that client.
I'm pretty sure, this journey must have been really difficult. But then, when you feel that you have equipped the client with dealing with certain emotions, and they've come out of that storm, I think this is very, very satisfying for a life coach, right?
Yeah.
So kudos to you on this. And I'm
Thank you.
pretty sure it's not only motherhood where this expressive writing comes into play.
Yeah.
As individuals, as even as parents, or maybe non-parents, even if you are working towards your career, or you're confused related to any aspect of life, I think expressive writing is very, very useful, right? So how do you elaborate on this? And I think that the study that you told us, that was really, really elaborative, and it's uh, it's so much required these days to know about our emotions. So what are the other fields where this expressive writing can be useful?
So expressive writing is something that is being researched and studied about, and it has a wide variety of applications. One of them being disordered eating. So people have seen benefits in patients of eating disorders when they've been encouraged to use expressive writing. But I would say the most common ones that apply to most people across the board are stress management and personal growth, right? We live in a world that where there is a lot of stress, but thankfully we have a lot of awareness that we need to manage that stress. So if you can learn to manage your stress, if you can reduce your stress, then you know that you can protect yourself from the risk of several diseases. And because stress leads to ulcers, and ulcers lead to cancer, there's a whole it's a domino effect. If you can stop it at that first stage, expressive writing can be a massive, massive tool in stress management. Similarly, you already mentioned personal growth. If you want to learn and if you want to grow and if you really want to internalize that knowledge, you have to understand yourself. And if you want to understand yourself, then expressive writing is your best friend.
Yes, Javeri, I think that's so important. And I would urge people to know more about expressive writing and hire life coaches like you, conduct sessions with them so that they get to understand about themselves, because self awareness is so much important wherever you go. Even if you are you want to escalate in your career, you want to be a good parent, or any other field, I think it's so important to know about yourself, uh, what triggers you, what are your emotions, and what stresses you out. So it's really important to write down your thoughts, and if you have somebody who can guide you how you can relate your feelings or your emotions with your thoughts, I think that is really a plus point. So thank you for being with us, Javeria. And we had a pretty good session. We came to know about a lot about expressive writing. So guys, if you want to know more about expressive writing and life coaches, please subscribe my channel and follow Javeria on her Instagram handle and her website. So we would like to know about your Instagram handle and website, although we will give the details in the description box. Plus, but please tell us about your website and your Instagram handle as well.
Thank you. It's Pen and Heal. So the
Pen.
Instagram and the website, both Pen and Heal.
So penhandhealed.com, please follow that. And also follow Javeria Fatima Zaidi on Instagram handle, and do connect with her. Thank you, Javeria.
Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Bye for
Bye.
now.